Whew. Okay, so here's an update on what's happening with chelation. I'm still on alpha lipoic acid. I didn't know if I was going to do any this week because I've had some other just very. I'm pretty weak right now, but for some reason I ended up awake almost all night the other night, and I was just trying to think of something productive to do, and so I decided to start chelating. There you go. So this is round 6 for me. One of the rounds I aborted mission a few doses in, which I made a video about. But you still count that round. You're still trying to, that's how many times we've started anyway. So I actually started this round with both ALA and DMSA. That was my first time doing DMSA, but it was at a higher dose. Well, was it? Wait a minute. No, that's not true. That's not right. No, I set it up in a suspension from a 12.5 milligram dose into water and then separated it out. So it was just over 1.5 milligrams, but it was for each of them. And I haven't taken any of the DMSA before. And as soon as I even opened the bottle, I could smell it. Just smelled wrong to me. It smelled toxic for me. So I tried one dose. That did not go super great. I'll make a different little video about that. But for the ALA, I kept going. 1.5 milligrams seems to be kind of where I am right now. It doesn't bother me the first couple of days, but you get into hour about 52, and that's about 1 hour before it starts dumping, theoretically, kind of the labs say. I think mine starts dumping a little bit sooner, like right at hour 52 is when I start to feel pretty bad. I had some Mercury shakes. Tonight I even took my temperature. Usually I don't have the presence of mind to do that, but I was feeling so bad. And also usually I've recently drunk something, and so you can't take your temperature then. But I ended up in the past few days I've gone back into this, like, needing enormous amounts of sleep, like in the middle of the day. That's been going on. I slept for 5 hours yesterday afternoon, and that was even with having to get up every 3 hours and take the chelation medicine. Today it was 3 hours. So these are very long naps, and they're very, like, sleeping very hard. So that's what I have going this time. I wasn't sure. People talk about the dump as like a phase that you go through, maybe starting several months into when you started your chelation or something like that. I'm, of course, not that far in, and so maybe that will be a different kind of experience or more of this or something. But for right now, this feels like about all my body could handle anyway. Um, I wish that I had within the chelation community um, a few people to kind of journey with who are also doing small doses, because within the groups there's kind of some double talk to it. There's the start as low as you need to, and there's a lot of, oh my gosh, I got really sick, what do I do? Well, you should have started lower, that kind of thing, or like backpedaling to a lower dose once the higher dose hasn't worked. But there's also a bit of small dose shaming, um, and so it's kind of confusing. I think they don't realize that both things are happening. Um, so that's hard to handle on your own, just sort of psychologically. I'm also having some pain in my skull, and I don't quite know what that's about. Right now, there's some kind of here and then some over here, especially if I were to part my hair right here, it's especially right there. Um, I don't know what that is. It's not hurting super bad right now, but it was enough for me to take my hairband out. Um, I am learning to better just be okay with, okay, my hand doesn't work today. I can't call people back, or you know, or I have a mercury fever. I can't I can't do business today. And I'm on medical leave, and the crazy thing about medical leave is it requires so much business prowess and project management skills that it's hard to imagine anyone who doesn't have that background ever getting through it. Honestly, like it's very intensive, but it also requires that you really set some strong boundaries. And so I've been very clear um, with the insurers and so forth. I'm like, I expect you to provide me with written everything. And, if you don't make an appointment to talk to me on the phone, I'm not going to be there to pick up the phone. I don't have an energy level right now where I can do that. I still have about 1 good hour a day. And you can imagine when you need about 6 good hours a day to like brush your teeth and do the dishes and, take care of things. You, 1 hour just isn't enough, and you just get behind and behind and behind. So, um, I did get some more raw milk today. I haven't made my little raw milk video yet, but I started that, and so I think that helped me at least go to sleep. I could tell I needed to go to sleep, but what I'm finding, especially during the chelation period lately, is if it gets to be 4 o'clock, I am climbing the walls. Really by 2, but especially by 4, I'll get a very strong chocolate craving. Um, which is partly the nutrient density of the mineral content of the chocolate I get, but also the caffeine. And so I have two choices. I can either take a nap because I'm tired at that point, and I can take that hint, or I can take the chocolate. But either way will ruin my sleep for the night. Either way, if you take a long nap, you're not going to sleep that night. If you take the caffeine, you're not going to sleep that night. So that's something that I'm dealing with also. But the mercury shakes they are rather like I expected them to be. I will say I am not ending up being able to take the full amount probably of vitamin C most days that the Cutler protocol asks you to do, which is like I think 2 to 4 grams a day. Most days I'm not getting that. Now, when I first started out, I had really front loaded, and so maybe over time that will amortize out to average properly, but I'm not finding that my stomach can do that much. What I do take, oh, I don't have the bottle of it because I always put it in a glass jar so I can dip into it better. But I use the Synergy Company vitamin C. um, it's the only one that's ever worked for me at all. but I took like a whole lot right before I started chelating. So even though I did try one chelation round with 3 milligrams, I really had to dial that back. In fact, I think that's the one that I aborted mission on. I can't do that yet. I think I'd like to try 2 milligrams next. Maybe from my 6.25 pill divided into three. I think I'll probably do that next and just see if I can do that. But you don't want to be a hero on this stuff. You don't want to put the body into shock at all. I know when I tried the 12 and a half, I went straight into like sinus infection space. And so I had to stop at that point. So that's what's going on with it. Again, you don't want to take any charcoal when you are chelating because it will pull the chelator since it's a synthetic. What I am doing is no more than once a day. I'll do a light charcoal bath, so maybe like a quarter cup per big bathtub full of water. And just the mood will lift and the body feels lighter and it just feels better. And so once that happens, then I feel like okay, this gives me enough strength to kind of keep doing the detox. I was feeling really, really cruddy and pre-mercury shake this morning, which was kind of right at that 52-hour mark. And so I got up and did not pass go, did not collect $200, got straight into a hot bath of charcoal and Epsom salt. and it didn't even make a dent in it. And I've never taken, and I put kind of a lot in there. I've never taken either one of those kind of baths where I didn't feel better at the end, but it just didn't put a dent in it. Now it did tonight. I didn't do the charcoal tonight. I wouldn't do that 2 days in a row because, especially because right now this is my last day. This is the third day of the chelation, and this is the period in which it's pulled everything out into excretable form. And so we gotta kind of you gotta stay the course, especially at the end. Um, but so I took a pretty heavy Epsom bath, and I put a bunch of kind of juniperish essential oils in the bath, which I don't usually do either. I'm not very fussy with baths, but I did do that, and I think that helped some. I did the Epsom salts with it. So that's what I've got. I'm gonna do some more. This will mix up. This is the vitamin C. It looks kind of pink when it does its thing. I'll take just some little bits of that through the evening, and I'm feeling better because I'm drinking some juice. That's a cold pressed organic juice, even though I didn't make it myself. So that's kind of the best I can offer. I also had some juice straight away first thing this morning, and basically, like, I probably need to be drinking green juice about every 3 hours right now, which again is a deviation from the protocol. Actually, because they say to stay away from sulfuric things, which is like most of the greens. But for me, at this stage, and maybe it'll be different when I'm on like 300 milligrams a day. But for right now, I really need that juice in order to keep it going. In fact, I wish I had bought a lot more at the store last week. So that's what's going on in round 6 of alpha lipoic acid under the Andy Cutler protocol for Mercury chelation.